Hello, 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 everyone. It is Dr. Sasheen here, the Metaphysical Goddess. Hello. It is the third day of the new year of 2019, and for those who keep up on numerology, that means the third day on the year 3. Numerologically, 2019 is a 3-year. It's a 12-3 year, but it is a 3-year. So we're in the third day of that energy. I am Dr. Sasheen. For those of you who do not know me, I am often referred to as the Metaphysical Goddess because that is how I got my start doing metaphysics. Still do it. But I'm also your divorce, mindset, and energy coach, helping women to navigate the treacherous waters that can be the divorce process. It can be kind of treacherous, and I'm here to help you get through that. But I'm also here to talk about your mindset. And so really a lot of the work that I do and want to do on this page moving forward this year is really about getting your mind right, both practically, pragmatically, and metaphysically. So today we're talking about the myth of brokenness, and it's so important because we've just come through the holidays, which are so fraught with a lot of emotional baggage that comes from generational dysfunction and passing along of generational pain. As I often say, if you've heard me say it many times, if you've listened to me, if not, this is going to be your first time, and I'll say it again. We pass along generational pain as if it's a badge of honor. We rarely pass along generational happiness and generational pleasure. And my job for 2019 is to make sure that we're leaving a legacy of pleasure and happiness, and stop leaving a legacy of pain in our wake. So, what is it about this myth of brokenness? Well, you know, it's prevalent that we have to fix what's broken, with the assumption that we ourselves are broken and therefore we need to fix ourselves. The problem is that doesn't just stop with fixing ourselves, right? If our marriages are on the rocks, or our kids are acting out, or our families are in shambles, we must fix the broken people, the broken things, the broken life. This is not a talk to say that life doesn't get broken. It does. It really does. Things break all the time that need to be repaired, and that's great. What we're here is to talk about is why the myth is that you are broken if your life is also broken. That is not necessarily true. Sorry about that. The wireless is up and down today. It's really windy here. You can be living in a broken life and not be a broken person. And I think it's important to recognize that just because life might be throwing you a curveball, or life might be handing you things that you necessarily don't want, that doesn't equate to you being broken in a way that needs some kind of major overhaul or major fix. The message of today is things break, you didn't break. So let's talk about relationships, because that's what this is all about today, is our relationships coming into the new year. There may be things in your relationship that are broken. That does not mean that you are the broken party in your relationship, and that also doesn't mean that the other person is broken. It may just mean there are some broken parts in your relationship that need mending. Here's the hint to mending the broken things in your relationship. When you mend something that has broken, it's different than it was before. A lot of self-help industry type people, especially when it comes to marriage, divorce, parenting, whatnot, like to say, we're going to put it back to, it's going to be better than what it was, or it's going to be just back the way it was. No, it's not. When something is shattered in a relationship, when something breaks and we put it back together, it's never exactly the same. The goal is to grow into that new space, recognizing that it might be bigger because you had to add certain things in, or it might be smaller because you had to take certain things away. But the goal is to remember that you are still the person that you were before the thing broke. You can choose to become a different person after a thing breaks, but you yourself are not broken. Now, somebody out there in internet land is going to say, no, there's addiction, there's this, those people are broken. I am not saying that human beings cannot be broken. What I am saying is that the myth is that we're all broken and we all need to be fixed at all times. That's just bullshit, and that's just not true. What some people call brokenness, I call growth. We're not designed to stay the same. We're not meant to come into the world in one place and completely stay there. As we grow through life, we can see that we're children, we're teenagers, we're young adults, we hit middle years, we get older, we move on. In all of those phases, we grow and change. That is not brokenness, that is life. If you start thinking that you or your spouse or significant other are broken because they're growing and changing, they're not the problem. You are the problem. Growth and change are normal and natural, and you should encourage it and expect it. The hard part of that is the idea that if someone's growing and changing in a way that I don't like, they must be broken or I must be broken. Neither one of you are broken. That's not what's happening here. Growth and change are normal. Sometimes we grow and change together, and if that's you, blessings. Sometimes we grow and change away from each other. If that's where you are, there are many possibilities to handle that path as well. But the reality is, you can't go around saying, my relationship is broken or my spouse is broken because they no longer want to do this or they want to do this now, and that's not who I married and that's not who I fell in love with. They're not broken, they're just different. You're not broken, you just don't want to be different. That's not brokenness, that's just being a human being. And instead of calling ourselves broken, we might just give ourselves permission to be human and recognize that perhaps, just perhaps, growth and change is not a bad thing. And my marriage doesn't have to end. Or my marriage does have to end because we have grown and changed in ways that no longer support each other in the place that we are. So coming back around full circle, relationships can have broken parts to it. Your job in a relationship is to fix the relationship if it's broken, not your spouse or significant other. They're not broken, and neither are you. Self-help is a wonderful tool, and it's something I highly encourage. In fact, I am a self-help coach, a mindset, divorce, and energy coach. But the thing about self-help is that sometimes we get really drawn in. I have an old friend who used to say that we like to navel gaze and look at our basically, we want to look so deep in for our brokenness that we don't actually find it, so we create a broken story to make us feel better about the fact that life is just changing and we don't like it. You're not broken, you're just changing. And that change can be scary and it can be frustrating, but it can also be exhilarating and it can be motivating. So you got to ask yourself, since you're not broken and you're just changing, what are you going to do with those changes? Because life is going to continue to change you, not break you. I don't believe that bullshit. But life is going to continue to change you as it asks you to come up to where it wants you to be, as opposed to sitting back where you want to be because you're afraid to move forward. All right, the signals are crazy today, so I'm going to get off this thing. For those of you who don't know, I'm starting the Fear to Freedom course this month, January 2019. I'm very excited about it. It is a chance to work through your fear of what's happening in your relationship, the fear that you may have of what's happening in your life. Ostensibly, the course is devoted to working through the fear that comes from getting a divorce or being in the divorce process. But the course is actually open to people who are trying to move through the transition of life, who are at a place where they're just afraid of moving forward because they don't know what to do next. Over the course of 12 weeks, we're going to spend time knocking down the myths that hold you in place, getting your mind right for the path ahead, actually crafting workable plans that you can use to help you get to the place that you need to get to on the other side of whatever transition that you're going to. But mostly for my women out there who are struggling right now with, I'm just not where I need to be anymore, and it's time for me to move on. This course is for you. Nothing holds us back more than our anxiety and our fear that we will not be able to be enough on the other side of the chasm that is before us. My job is to help you build the bridge. So before you call an attorney, call me and let me help you out. All right, so open enrollment now for Fear to Freedom. Always, I work with individual clients as well. Hit me up on support@SashinMobley.com and let's talk about how I can help you get to a better life. Take care, everybody. Bye.